can't believe I'm actually saying this, but Bungie actually did something right for a change. No, really, after all the fuck-ups with the game, all the bullshit, all the lies, all the times they say they fixed something only for it still to be broken. You know, that reminds me of fucking BioWare Mass Effect 3. They finally got their shit together for once. I guess that leaves hope for a YouTube auditor to not have to go fuck himself every day. Now, I made no secret about how I feel about Destiny. It's fun, but it's painfully incomplete with Activision ripping us off with DLC. I made no secret about how I feel about the Crucible. Dreadfully horrible, with an awful connection, bullshit around every corner for people to exploit. And in between that, I've made fun of the laughable first Iron Banner event that was rolled out, where it felt absolutely no different than the Crucible. But Bungie has come back and actually created something that is pretty decent. And it lives up to the promotion of the event. Now, before I begin, the gameplay in the background will look familiar a little later, because this is the game that I got my Platinum Trophy that I told you I wanted to post up. Towards the end of the game, that Quad Nova Bomb that sealed up my Platinum will be shown, and that's actually one of the few really good games that I had in the Iron Banner. For the most part, I have average games. I stay at about a 1 kill death ratio. Sometimes I go a little bit lower, but overall, I have held my own, going positive more times than negative. So that's a good thing. That doesn't mean I like the Crucible, because I don't. I never have. I never will like the Crucible, but there are parts of the game that I need to achieve playing this shit. So I might as well play the motherfucker when I can. The Iron Banner was one of those parts because of the massive improvement Bungie made to it. Now, I've had no issue tearing them a new asshole for the past 2 months now. Destiny's fun, but it's flawed. It's great entertainment, but it's repetitive and it's empty. It promised us this amazing game and disappointed us with an atrocious excuse for a campaign. You wanted good surprises in game, but instead, these were all bad disappointment surprises. You want a surprise to be like 2 nymphomaniac Playboy bunnies jumping your bones, not a wet fart in a public pool. So when Bungie rolled out that first Iron Banner, that was a wet fucking fart. Total wet fucking fart of an event following the heels of those queef challenges, which were god-awful pieces of shit. Advantages turned off didn't matter. Rewards were garbage. Bounties would take forever. Armor couldn't even be turned into shards, and the event totally fucking flopped. Bungie went back to the drawing board and actually came up with better ideas, and more importantly, delivered on them, because all their ideas have turned to crap as well. They fixed the level advantage garbage where higher ranked players will do more damage. Yes, I was killing level 24 players with ease because I had 29 and 30 level characters. They fixed the bounty system, making those shits much more reasonable. Having all those ridiculous bounties pretty much made people not want to play in order to grind for reputation. It's one thing to make a hard challenge. It's another thing when a challenge is so absurd that it turns into a waste of time for minimal rewards. The reputation system was changed, thanks in part to the losing medallions. Before you lost, you got absolutely nothing. So people would rage quit in the middle of a match that was bound to lose, and you would end up on teams with 6 players against 2 players because there was no reason to stay in a losing match unless you really wanted some Crucible marks. The 2 games that I played in, I was on losing teams with people quitting, and with that kind of system in which reputation wasn't awarded in any way, of course people were going to leave games like that. It was inevitable, but they changed that for the better with these medallions that they have now. While the system isn't perfect, it's certainly flawed because people are getting into rooms, collecting coins pretty quickly, it's at least a better option and a somewhat of a deterrent for people to leave games early. But I'll be honest for a moment. When there was nobody online and I was playing solo, I was getting thrown into a shitload of rooms already in progress. If the game was far along, I would stay in, even if it was on a losing team, because I would collect a coin for doing nothing. I was getting thrown into a few games in progress just to get the coins. By the time I had 3 to 4 coins, then I would go play a normal game and hope for a win, which actually happened plenty of times. Most of the time, I collected about 3 or 4 medallions before cashing them in with a win, so I know there were ways of ranking up your reputation much faster than had you played in a party and just won every single match. And I had no issue joining a losing team just to make that collection. Now, they also offered up this tempering buff, which allowed people the chance to earn more XP later in the week for the price of a few most light and shit like that. Honestly, this was a brilliant fucking idea. For people like me, who don't have a chance to play 15 hours a day, and usually only get a few hours in on the weeknights and shit like that, my gaming normally occurs during the weekend, and the tempering buff for the weekend was pretty damn good. It allowed people to really get a chance to rank up their characters, and that was a big bonus for those who don't have the time to spend during the weekdays. But of all the changes they made, level advantages, easier bounties, reputation for losing, the most important change made to the Iron Banner was the level 30 gear. This is by far and away the biggest reason this event has been a success. Outside of raiding, there is no way to get to level 30. The only way you're getting up to level 30 is by doing the raid and getting lucky enough to be rewarded with random fucking gear. If you're a fucking scrub like my buddy Dusty, you get 3 pieces of raid gear in one shot and you're level 30 after one fucking run of getting carried. If you're smart like Bike Crazy, you die a shitload of times and the game rewards you with 3 pieces of fucking raid gear per character in only one run. If you're someone like Hatred who gets the most kills per game, the raid doesn't give his hunter anything. Not a single fucking drop for him. He's been playing since the beginning and he's barely gotten anything for his character because this game is so fucked up. It just has a way of rewarding the person that doesn't do shit, yet the person who pulls his weight in the room doesn't get a fucking thing. It's absurd. I don't get it. Nobody will get it. It's random, but it is fucking stupid. So for those of us who were not lucky in raid drops and suffered through hours of bullshit doing the raids, we now have an event aside from the Vault of Glass that'll help you get to level 30. Although the event only offers up 2 pieces of gear, it's something. It's some kind of variety for those trying to get to level 30 and have a different set of gear while maintaining your rank. Do you remember when the game came out and they talked about how unique looking each character was going to be and how you build your own character? Well, that shit went out the window when the only way you could get to level 30 was having a minimum of 3 pieces of identical raid gear, plus an exotic if you didn't have the 4th piece. Now, we get a second way to max out our characters, and it's a bit more reliable than the fucking raid. All you need to do is rank up your reputation, play the Iron Banner, and you get a chance to buy some actual equipment for some glimmer. For me personally, as you can see from the gameplay in the background, I needed my Warlock completed. Going into the Iron Banner, I already had my Titan and Hunter sitting on level 30, so neither of them really needed to do the Iron Banner, but I did bring them in just to get some reputation marks and shit like that. But my Warlock was painfully stuck on level 29, and I got some of the worst drops possible in the raid. So my goal was to get to level 3 immediately to buy those boots that I needed just to be a level 30. I have the raid helmet, I have the raid chest piece, I actually got the gauntlets in the raid this week when the Iron Banner was going on, so all I needed was the boots, and I was really good to go. In getting my boots, I got all my characters up to level 30 now, and after that, I basically played the Iron Banner, all my characters, in hopes of getting either the guns, the shaders, and the class items per character, since that obviously gives you the XP boost the next time the shit comes around. But essentially, I did play a shitload of the Iron Banner. Overall, there's no arguing against how good the Iron Banner really was this time around. Power levels actually mattered. The rewards were finally worth a pot to piss in. The bounties were fair, they were repetitive, and basically didn't fucking change all goddamn week, which forced people to use the Suros. But overall, the bounties were much more fair and much more easier to attain than spending a whole goddamn week just getting 100 reputation points. And the medallion system for reputation gave people enough incentive to stay in the rooms. This is how the Iron Banner should have been in the first place, and it shows that maybe, just maybe, Bungie might be on their way towards fixing this game. I doubt it. You know, because Cunt Division wants to charge us for every fucking thing in this goddamn game, but this was a step in the right direction without me having to step my foot straight up into their assholes. But anyways, as this video is finally coming to a close, you guys saw in the background, I basically kicked a whole bunch of scrubs' ass. This game wasn't about my skill level. This game was about the skill level of the other players that just couldn't keep up with a scrub like me and shit like that. So if I was able to kill them, you know that this was a pretty bad fucking team that I was able to play against. But anyway, like I said, the whole Blueprint series has now started. It's in full effect. We're probably going to have close to 10, 12, 15 videos. I don't know. I'm going to have a whole bunch of those videos in this motherfucker. Also going to have some Advanced Warfare rants coming, so you guys are going to get to enjoy those. But as for the Iron Banner, I must say, Bungie, you finally did something right. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next videos.